everyone. Good morning. And today we have Amanda Buckingham here today. She is the Managing Director of Warriedar Resources, ticker code WA8, Whisker Alpha 8, an Australian mineral exploration company. Amanda has a PhD in geophysics and mathematics from the University of Western Australia, and alongside a huge passion for mineral exploration. Amanda brings decades of experience to her role, and under her leadership, Warriedar Resources is now actively engaged in exploration projects, leveraging her expertise to drive the company's growth and discovery efforts in the mining sector. And before I disclose too much, she is here today to disclose some really fantastic news flow. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you, Gia. It's great to be here today.
Well, let's get into it. So first and foremost, Amanda, can you please provide us with a bit of an overview around Warriedar Resources and your gold exploration projects in WA and Nevada in the US?
Certainly. So we do have two substantial gold projects. While WA is our focus, our project in Nevada is an incredibly important project. And these projects, while they're quite geographically diverse, they have some commonalities that are very important. And actually the commonalities are what I would say define a good gold project. So they are both in tier 1 jurisdictions. You know, it doesn't get much better than Western Australia and Nevada for gold mining. They are both in very pro-mining, well-endowed mineral provinces. There's a lot of gold in the Carlin Belt and likewise in WA. And they're both surrounded immediately alongside long-life, profitable mines. Now, our projects both have existing solid resources, a clear line of sight on growth, and importantly, they're both on permitted mining leases. So yes, both high caliber, good quality gold projects.
Amanda, so can you tell us a little bit more about the Murchison area and why it makes it such an incredible jurisdiction for you?
Yeah, look, absolutely. So the Murchison is a very active area at the moment, both in terms of M&A and development and discovery. So we are positioned right in the middle of the very active southern Murchison province. We're surrounded by long-life, profitable mines. Importantly, we don't own a small postage stamp of a project. We own the entire central belt. So for us, there's immediate growth opportunity in terms of making our resources larger, but the medium-term objective is to discover new deposits along the shear, and that will give us an absolute step change in value and opportunity. We are surrounded by Silver Lake to our west, Ramelius to our northeast, Capricorn to our south. There's a lot of hungry mills in the area and a lot of activity.
And Amanda, I can see here when you said you don't own just a small postage stamp size, it's I can see it's 350 square meters. Is that correct?
300 actually, what is it? It's 350 kilometers from Perth.
Oh, square meters.
No, but actually it's 788 square kilometers, including field spine. So you're right, Gia, it's quite a large package. Now, with a large package comes, you need a good strategy to find gold, and you could get lost in that ground if you weren't careful. So our strategy is threefold. We plan to grow our existing resource at Ricardo, to grow the resources within what we call the Golden Corridor. You can see it later on that map. And then also the third part is to discover new gold deposits along the main shear, of which we own the entire central 70-kilometre belt.
Excellent. So it sounds like you've mapped out a very, like a long, short, mid and a long-term strategy on how you're actually going to cover such a big space, right?
No, that's spot on. That's exactly what we've done. And even though right now we're drilling to define Ricardo, internally and certainly at board level, we've mapped out various scenarios for us as a company. And we know we have to allocate capital carefully, but we believe we can grow the current resources, Ricardo and one or two others, get ourselves into production, get some cash flow, use that to fund the development of the other deposits and the discovery of new gold deposits. So there's a plan taking place. And because we're in the Murchison surrounded by several mills, there are options in terms of processing as well.
Excellent. Which brings me to the next question in the next slide. So Warriedar boasts a sizable and high-grade total resource estimate of like a staggering 2 million ounces, more than half of which is actually in the higher confidence measured and indicated categories. Can you just run us through that?
Yeah, you're right. In WA, we have just over 50% of the resource in the measured and indicated category. So we have 816,000 ounces. And in Nevada, of our 1.01 million ounces, we have 55% of that in the measured and indicated category. And all that means for investors is these are robust, well-defined, well-understood resources. And for us, we know where the growth opportunities lie and where to put the drill holes to find more gold.
Excellent. And let's have a quick look here. So Ricardo sounds like it's a real gem.
Yeah, look, Ricardo is a real gem. It's a good way to put it. It's our main resource. It's just under 500,000 ounces already. But the drilling that we have done both last year and this year has proven that there's a lot more high-grade gold and that the resource is much larger. And so last year, we put out some good results from that drilling. For example, 32 metres at 3.6 grams per tonne gold.
Yes.
And then this year, we headed straight back out in February and drilled another program, 8 metres at 11.4 grams. We were delighted with those results. So, of course, in May, we headed straight back out. We drilled an RC and started a diamond program. And only last week, we put out some results from the diamond program that is ongoing. We put out 19 metres at 5 grams per tonne and 12 metres at 7 grams per tonne. So this is a high-grade, well-defined ore body that is open at depth, that is showing really good continuity as we go deeper into the fresh rock zone. We are absolutely delighted with what we're seeing. And importantly, we're still out there drilling and there's a lot of news to come.
Yes, we're going to touch on that very shortly. I'm very excited. So, okay, so the company's recent focus has been exploring the Golden Corridor within the Golden Range project area. Can you elaborate a little bit more about the strategic benefits, including the location of this prolific gold district in the Murchison region? And like, what is actually your strategy then? Drilling a little bit deeper into what we just said, like in expanding the project in general.
Yeah, no, very good question. So this project was a producing mine previously, but the previous operator was only mining the shallow oxide gold. So we came in and we noticed that all the long life mines in the area, they all tap quite deep. For example, Ramelius is mining at Mount Magnet at 1,400, 1,500 metres. You know, they've got an 8 million ounce production history there. The deposits in this area, they're large, they tap deep, they're long, they produce long life mines. So we took on this project and we realised that there's been no proper exploration of the fresh rock zone. What we were very aware is that we needed to be very strategic and targeted in where we drill because it's a large project. Hence our 3-part strategy for growth. We will grow Ricardo now, which is what we're doing. And then within the Golden Corridor, the area you mentioned, it's a 25-kilometre long stretch with 736,000 ounces of gold, 6 deposits, 18 historic pits. That will be our focus in the medium term. And then longer term, once we're in production and we have cash flow, we will go about discovering new gold deposits along the main mineralised shear. So there's a strategy for growth, but it is focused now on resource expansion at Ricardo.
Excellent. Which now helps me segue into the drilling. So last time when I met you in the Gold Coast, you were talking about the diamond rig being out there. So, we were both very excited. So now can you talk to me and about some of the drilling results and what they now actually mean for your future growth prospects at Warriedar?
Yeah, absolutely, Gia. So having a diamond rig at Ricardo, it's a very exciting stage for us to get to because it basically means we can drill as deep as we need to. And the reason you don't bring a diamond rig in first up is that it is expensive. It's double the price of RC. So you need to know where you want to drill. So we have been drilling with the diamond rig. We put out some results last week that we are delighted with. We put out 19 metres at 5 grams per tonne, as well as 12 metres at 7 grams per tonne. Good quality, high grade gold extension at Ricardo. And importantly, the Ricardo deposit is still open at depth, and we are only a short way into this diamond program, and we expect a lot of news to flow through in the next couple of weeks and months.
And just for like our viewers to understand, how long is this the drilling program going to be going for the rest of 2024?
Yeah, certainly. So this current program will be continuing for about another month. We've added a little bit to the program because we're quite happy with what we're seeing. So another month of drilling now, and then of course there's the news flow that results from that. Then we'd like to update the JORC resource at Ricardo, and then we will get straight back out and drill further within the Golden Corridor in the fourth quarter. We're really going to hit this corridor hard with a view to push 1, 2, or 3 of these deposits to a substantial resource growth, and eventually scoping studies and the right path. But we love what we're seeing. We're getting really good results, and our focus is on high grade gold extensions.
So it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong. So it sounds like there's, for the rest of 2024, there'll be more substantial drilling. And so it just means that we're going to be expecting a lot more news flow from Warriedar and yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really happy to get the results out last week, and I believe that's the caliber of results we will be able to maintain. We understand the gold deposits quite well. We know where to drill to hit these high grade shoots, and we plan to continue drilling and providing good news flow to the market. So yeah, I hope investors follow us and come along for the ride. It's a fantastic evolving gold story in the Murchison.
Excellent. So let me ask you now, so Ricardo is only one of the deposits currently being defined along the 25-kilometre long Golden Corridor. Can you tell us what this means for like a resource growth potential point of perspective? So I think, our members want to know not only about what is happening right now, but really the future prospects.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because 25 kilometres is still quite a large shear, a part of the shear. So that's why Ricardo is our current focus. That's where we believe we'll have the best opportunity for immediate growth. It's already almost 500,000 ounces. If we can double that resource and keep 50% in M&I, then you've got a pathway to recommencing production there. But importantly, Ricardo is one of 6 deposits in the Golden Corridor. So over time, we can then develop, expand, and progress the other 5 deposits, and they will become part of the mining plan. Remembering that these have all been mined before, so there's really good infrastructure. There's a nice haul road, well-conditioned haul road that connects them all. They're all on mining leases, the entire Golden Corridor. So in terms of a pathway to production and profitability in the medium term, those 6 deposits are clearly on our agenda for growth and development.
So really only 15% has been exploited so far. So we still have another 85% of growth potentially to come.
Oh, I'd say happily, yes.
I'm a maths girl, so I'm just putting into perspective, especially for our members, what they're thinking.
For me, Gia, the fact that all 6 of the deposits in the Golden Corridor, like when you look at the data in 3D, and I always allow the data to tell the story. I don't want other just let me see the real data. So we did a lot of work last year to clean up the database and to really produce something that we are comfortable with. We've got a fantastic 3D data set now. We can see where these high grade shoots go. You can also see that all 6 of those deposits have considerable growth potential at depth, but also between the deposits. There's 6 of them, but there's 18 historic pits. A lot of that ground hasn't been drilled well. So we believe we could join a lot of the deposits. There's There's a lot of growth potential. We need to be careful about how we go about it. You spend a lot of money drilling, and there needs to be a clear plan. So our plan, of course, is to progress Ricardo first, and then bring in the other 5 to the development plan. And of course, we've got a lot of internal studies going on, pit optimization, where there's a lot happening internally that allows us to optimize where we assign capital and to fast track, the pathway to development.
Thank you, Amanda. I think it sounds like your strategy and your plan, you're very steadfast in staying alongside that. So the next question I want to segue into now is can you tell us what is the planned drilling program at the Golden Range for the rest of 2024? I guess we in a way have covered it, but now that, I would love looking at this chart on the Golden Range pipeline, could you please explain that to our viewers?
Of course. So we're into where you can see RC Drill Program 2. That's right. That's actually completed now, that RC program. And it's the Diamond program that you can see. It says in progress on that particular presentation. So we have been drilling at Ricardo and M1 with the Diamond rig, and we will continue to drill there. There's 1,900 metres put down in that. We've actually increased that a bit because we're really happy with what we're seeing. So that Diamond program will continue for another month. And then in the second half of this year, we'll be back out with an RC program, focusing on the other deposits within the Golden Corridor, but also filling in any extra parts of the resource at Ricardo and M1, where we get positive results in this program. There's a lot. I guess with drilling, you need to get the results, integrate the results into your understanding and your model, and then plan the next program. But in terms of a summary of what we plan to do now and for the second half of the year, there'll be a lot of drilling, a lot of news, and a lot of moving towards solid resource growth so that we can see a clear development pathway.
Excellent. Thank you, Amanda. I think a big part that we look at East Coast Research and Shares and Values is what promises are being made by the companies. And then we like to look forward in 6 months to see what promises have been fulfilled. So this is some promising signs for us. Thank you.
And G, if I may, just on that point, I can't control what's in the ground, but what I can control, like you just said, is how we spend what we say we're going to do, and then how we spend our money and whether we do that. So I'm very steadfast on telling the shareholders and the investors what we plan to do, making sure we do that. But sometimes also you pivot because you either have results that are slightly better or slightly worse than what you expected. But for me, that's also part of the process. And I'm always very transparent about that. Hopefully we have fantastic results. For example, at M1, we don't know yet. We're getting great results at Ricardo, and that's why we've extended the program slightly in terms of the diamond drilling at Ricardo. But yes, we spend our money in the ground drilling. We spend a lot, but we are very active out there drilling. But I don't believe an exploration company should be sitting still. Like my geos, they work hard out on site. We drill a lot of meters. We're getting rewarded for that commitment. And I really look forward to updating these resources and progressing this along for our shareholders.
Thank you, Amanda. That's so eloquent of you. So now, look, our analysts have done a comprehensive report on Warriedar, which values your shares at 10 cents. And you're currently trading at the 6 cent mark. And our readers, for those who haven't received the report, you can read the full report attached to this email again. This, to me, says that there's still another 80% upside to your valuation, and then plus your news flow. Can you give us your comments and thoughts around what I just stated?
Yeah, of course, Gia. So, I'm very bullish on our prospects and where I believe our share price can go. I believe 10 cents is a good starting point, but that also, I guess that doesn't factor in the good results we're getting now and where we plan to take the company on the back of a good resource update at Ricardo. So I think that's a great starting point. But I like to look at our neighbours in the area. I think it's really good if you can see examples of what you'd like to head towards. And the Ramelius gold story is a great example. 2010, they bought the Mount Magnet asset. They built it from a situation that looked very similar to where we are now, some shallow open pits, an idea that there might have been deeper gold, but not a lot of drilling to confirm. That is what we're going for. We are drilling now, confirming good quality, high grade fresh rock gold. And I believe there's a considerable uplift, a step change in our share price possible on the back of continued resource definition. And we have an incredible large project in the middle of the central Murchison. And there's incredible growth opportunities for us.
So what caught me there is you said that this draws very parallel and similarities to your neighbour, Ramelius. Are you able to, if you have the knowledge just off the top of your head, where are they at right now, so that to give a perspective to our investors to know where you could be?
Well, they're a multi-billion-dollar market cap company with several operating mines, two mills. They truck ore in from Penny to the Checkers mill at Mount Magnet, which is a larger distance than what it is from our Ricardo to their Checkers mill. So they are successful. They're drilling, defining, mining at Mount Magnet down to 1,500 meters. The production history there is about 8 million ounces. And while geologically it's a little different, but the rocks are similar and the structural position. What we find is this style of gold often taps very deep. It's a classic orogenic gold story. You start with shallow open pits, you make a bit of money mining them, and then you discover that there's good quality roots to these gold systems that often just keep going. The sort of, the saying is that they're the gold deposit that just keeps on going. And that's what we're finding at Ricardo. And even look at Spartan. They're a great success story immediately to the north of us as well. They're finding good, high grade, good quality gold at depth. Now, we're not down to those depths yet, but there's no reason we can't continue down if it was viable. So I think with Ramelius, Spartan, Capricorn, another great success story of WA mining is immediately to our south. And then Silver Lake and the Red 5 take over immediately to our west. So there are good examples of success surrounding our project. And I like that. I like to be able to see in the district that you're operating who is doing well, what can we learn from our peers and our neighbours, how do we think we should apply that to our project? We're constantly learning from what's happening in our neighbourhood.
Thank you, Amanda. And I think these are the stories that keep you getting out of bed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the team, you've got a photo there of
yes.
I part of the important part of the job for me is to work with people who I enjoy being around.
Yes.
And I think you need to enjoy what you're doing and have a bit of fun doing it. If you're not having fun, there's something wrong. So we all work very hard, obviously, but we enjoy working together. We enjoy what we're doing. We also nobody knows everything. We work as a team. There's a lot of cross-pollination in terms of ideas and who knows what. So I think that's important, both at an operations and geoscience level and at a board level. I have a fantastic board. We get along well, diverse backgrounds and experiences, but it all comes together to help us move Warriedar forward.
Thank you. Well, now I'm actually very excited. I'm getting to the next part of the question, which I enjoy the most. As always, I've done a bit of social stalking.
No. Oh no, that's scary.
Okay, so Amanda, for us, we really look very heavily into the management team. I know that you're extremely experienced mining executive. So are you able to give us a bit of a background about yourself and your academic pedigree, how you are able to integrate that into the commercial aspects of running Warriedar Resources?
Yeah, certainly, G. I mean, that's a great question. My background, I have spent 30 years now in mineral exploration.
Yes.
And I have worn many hats. I've worked for exploration companies, mining companies. I've worked as a consultant. I've spent time in academia. I spent time working for airborne geophysical survey companies. I've seen, I guess, the spectrum of exploration to development from different perspectives. I've worked on hundreds of projects globally, lived in many places. I'm comfortable to say that I know what a good project looks like. And
Excellent.
I believe we have an excellent project with superb possibilities in terms of how we can progress. Now, I also know, I understand exploration well enough to know it's not a perfect recipe. You don't just put all the ingredients in and make a mine. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of decisions that need to be made along the way. And that's why I work really well with my other two board members. You can see Mark Connolly and Dim and Chen on the screen now. Now, where my experience is more exploration, they have the mining experience required. And the three of us together, it's a fantastic team. We bring together a diverse range of experiences, perspectives. We operate incredibly well. We don't always agree on things, but we have an open, candid discussion and debate about how we should move the company forward, what our strategy is, what the key drivers are for us. So I believe we are well set up in terms of the board to take this company forward. We had a board meeting yesterday. I thoroughly enjoy getting together with the board, and importantly, they support myself and the operations team to actually, progress this project, to drill, to discover, to update the resources. There are always challenges with mineral exploration, and I'm the first to admit that there's nothing easy about what we do. So I think you need stamina, you need grit, you need to understand that there'll always be challenges thrown at you. Keep a level head, make the right decision at the time, and move forward. And that's what we do as a group. And the Warriedar team, we're a tight-knit, fantastic group. And I look forward to building Warriedar and taking the team along for the journey, as well as the shareholders.
Thank you, Amanda. Very succinctly said. So to sum this up, what would you say to the community of investors who are looking to diversify, reposition, or rebalance their portfolio into the gold sector, especially now?
Well, as you can imagine, my opinion would be that I believe everyone should have some gold equities in their portfolio, a very important aspect of any portfolio. But you've got to choose the right company. Like, as I said, there are no guarantees, but you need to choose a company where the team is clearly trying really hard to succeed, where they're balanced in terms of spending their money in the ground, adding quality ounces to their resources, but also engaging with shareholders and making sure that the strategy and the path is well understood.
Yes.
But you also need a project that is in an area that shows promise, that is well endowed, that has a history of production. I mean, I know there are some fantastic greenfields discoveries in the middle of nowhere, that's fine. But for us, part of the attraction is that we own a commanding land position, a solid resource in the middle of an active mining province with long life mines. We can see where we want to get to all around us. And I just a last comment, Gia, I can think of nothing better than to be in a position where a year down the track, the Warriedar share price has just taken off and people are patting themselves on the back because they got in at 6 cents now, today. So it's something that drives me. I want to build this company, and ultimately I want to make a lot of money for my shareholders. That is the drive, and I will do that with a great team in a safe way. We'll spend our money wisely in the ground growing these resources. And because we're small, we can pivot and take opportunities as they arise, which is another important aspect of our company. So yeah, I'm extremely optimistic about where we're headed. And I'm delighted that we are currently drilling our first diamond program at Ricardo. The first results were superb. And I really look forward to bringing the shareholders along on the journey and delivering some more good quality results soon.
Thank you, Amanda. I was able, and I was very fortunate yesterday to meet a very big cohort of our member base at our recent event. And I have to say, when I spoke to each and every one of them, not only were they astute investors, but one hallmark is they actually really love to back a good Australian story. Australians really want to back a good underdog and the small guys. So I think, after having this conversation with you, you fit the bill, and I hope that our members will get to see that as well.
That actually, Gia, that's great to hear. The underdog. I called us an underdog in an interview not so long ago, and it's so appropriate for us. Like, we are working really hard to lift ourselves, getting great results. We are the underdog, and I'm pretty happy with that. But from that, there's some great success stories where the underdog comes through, and I think we've got everything required to really launch. And yeah, we will be extremely successful one day with a really high share. Oh, I'm driven to move us to that point where we have a very high share price and we're in demand and we've got solid resources. But you've got to do the hard work along the way, and that's the stage we're at now, and we're certainly doing that.
Thank you, Amanda. So look, I want to finish this by saying, Amanda, if it's okay, so if we have any members or potential investors that have any questions for you or your team, that they will forward it to us, info@sharesinvalue.com.au or info@eastcoastresearch.com.au, and your team will be happy to field them and respond.
Absolutely. I love answering questions from shareholders or interested investors. We also have an investor hub platform, and part of the reason we signed up to that is because there is the ability to ask questions openly. So please channel them through UGA, absolutely. But shareholders can also do it through the investor hub, through our website. Questions, I try to answer all questions within 24 hours. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I like it when shareholders engage.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Amanda, for your time. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you again in a future interview as well when you have more news flow.
I'd love to speak to you again, Gia, soon. It's been very enjoyable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.